Greetings, Black Mental Health Matters, streaming live onto LinkedIn and GPAN. We are here with a very special edition to a topic that affects us all. The topic is police brutality and mental health in our Black and African communities. We have here today Jacky and Mike, who are living in Chemnitz, Germany, where they had been celebrating their son's birthday and were brutalized in their own home by police. Now, we all still remember George Floyd, whose death triggered outrage across the globe, while we still mourn the killing of Breonna Taylor in 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky. Many of us fear the danger even when we are in our own homes. So tragic events such as these impact us as people of African descent, and it has a negative effect, a profound negative effect on the emotional and psychological well-being of Black families and communities. So today we shall be discussing with our guests coping strategies and healing from such stress and trauma as it relates to racism and police brutality. Now, Jacky and Mark, please just say shortly what happened.
So, good evening, everyone. Yeah. So on this day, our son was turning to 16, and he was celebrating his 16th birthday. So it was on 25th, so we decided to do it on 31st, which was on a weekend. And because of the corona instructions, we decided that he cannot bring many friends. He has only to choose one of his best friends, and the rest will do it as a family here at home. So we just made a buffet and we started eating at around 18 till 20, just enjoying the food. And then later we started making small games as a family, just to give him the good feeling of our birthday in the restricted times where the corona regulations were not, that other people from outside were not allowed.
So this was during the time of the lockdown?
Yes.
Okay. And you were celebrating the birthday of your son, and then the police arrived. And
yes.
What happened when they entered the house?
When they entered the house, they started shouting on us.
In the informal way.
Yes.
Like do.
Yeah. There was like respectless, like they didn't have respect to us. And they were saying we are a lot of people in the house. Then I told them that is not the truth, because we was not a lot of people. We was just a family.
So they were accusing you of having exceeded the number of people which were allowed.
Yes.
And this was not true. You were just family members there.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why I let them in. I allowed the police to come in to our house.
Just to confirm the accusations if you are right.
Yeah.
Okay. But it didn't end there like that. They also were harassing the young son, was locked up in the bathroom.
Yes.
It ended with you having major surgery on your hand. Your hand was injured. Mark, your foot was broken.
Yes.
And not only that, you were also humiliated and harassed, Jacky.
Yes, we was very humiliated and harassed, because they took me outside to the house with handcuffs, and at the moment they damaged my hand. At the moment I had my operation, and I'm still waiting for a new operation. Then they took me to the car, they blindfolded me, and they took me somewhere. Even today I don't know where they took me to. Then
So you're saying you were blindfolded in the car?
In the car.
You were taken from your home and blindfolded in the car?
Yes.
Being transported and not even knowing where you're going?
Yes, and I was very afraid, because I asked them, where are you taking me to? No one was talking to me. Then we reached somewhere. It was like in a building. Yeah, in the pavement. We go inside. Then at the moment we reach there, they opened my handcuffs. Then they told me to undress myself, then to remove my clothes. Then I was really shocked about that because I asked them how, why should I undress me? They didn't listen to
Were
me.
these male policemen?
There was two police two police women and four policemen.
Okay.
They were
Yeah.
all watching.
Yeah, they was all watching. Then it was really uncomfortable for me to undress front of the men's. Yeah. But they really harassed me. They take my dress off. Then I was naked.
It's a way of degrading her dignity.
And they was laughing. I don't know why they did that. I could not explain why, but it was really bad. And this is something it's really disturbing me even now.
This is a big, huge violation. It must have been a very traumatic, when I think of it, it must have been a very traumatic experience.
It was very traumatic.
Especially really. For us as a family to watch the mother being handled this way. Yeah. These things, I just saw them in the movies, like in the war, where they just simulate the family by doing something bad to the mother.
Yes.
When the man watches and the kids. This, yes. I understand this like...
It's like a re-traumatization, even from the periods of slavery and colonization. These were methods that were used then.
And we were to watch, me and our kids were to watch everything what they did.
But by the time they take my clothes, I asked them why. They tell me it's because of the security purpose. So they have to check if I have anything that's maybe I can harm myself with. And I was like, yes, if I have to remove my clothes, but not front of the men's.
Yes.
Yeah, if it was only women's, it was okay for me, but front of the men's, it was really not okay. And that's the thing.
Okay.
As I said, yeah.
So the children were also affected by this. What happened to the children? What was their situation?
So when the Jacqueline was taken away, I tried to talk to them, but no one listened to me. I begged them. I even went on my knees and I told them. And then when they went with her, I had people calling me and they told me the daughter has collapsed. I found she was not breathing, so I had to call for help, ambulance.
And you was broke.
And then they
broke.
Yeah, we just done something. When they were taking her away, when I tried to talk to them, one of the police jumped on me and he stepped on his boots on my leg and they broke my leg.
Okay, this was when they were taking Jackie away.
Yeah, yes. Because I tried to talk to them and I told them we can solve this thing. We don't have to be violent. Right. But anyone who tried to talk, they acted very violently against it.
Okay.
So I felt a lot of pain, but because of the commotion, I didn't care. I concentrated on the pain because everything was happening so fast. The daughter, when Jacqueline was taken away, the daughter was lying here. She could not breathe.
She had the panic attack.
Yeah. And then I had to call the ambulance and they came and they gave her some help for breathing and they gave her some tablets so that she can calm down and sleep.
Okay. How has this affected the children?
Yeah, this has really affected the children because even now our daughter, she's not okay because when someone ringing on the bell, she is always afraid of going to open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are living in a fear.
And we don't even open the door if someone doesn't call us before. We have everyone who rings. Yes, look, we tell everyone if you want to come inside, you have to call us before.
Yeah. Yes, you did tell me about that this especially terrible was this feeling of being helpless and you felt even left alone to be struggling with all these emotions, with the memories, with the anxiety, and even when you tried to get medical attention for the physical problems, this was also presented other difficulties.
Yes. Yeah, it made for me, I would say it made me see the world a little bit different, because when you try to get for help, even calling the police to say we want to make Anzeige, how do you say Anzeige in German? Statement.
Yes.
They made us go around go around, they say us, it's not here, you have to go the other place, we will call the other place. And then they made all go around. They only came to us when the media started talking. The same way with the lawyers. We tried to call lawyers who can take our case because we felt helpless. We just kept trying to get help.
Yes,
But,
yes.
almost like 6 or 10, they turned down our offer. They said, oh, when they hear about police, no one wanted to do anything about it.
Yeah, yeah.
The same way with the doctors. We had the problem with the doctors. Like mine, they just wrote, instead of writing, from what I know, the doctor writes amnesia, or do you call it? What I say, and then he writes from his own perspective in the medical terms.
Or maybe he writes what he sees.
But he refused to write what I said, and he said my leg was only gesprungen. But then the leg was, the X-ray shows my leg is broken. But he said it was umgeknickt.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then I even told him, why do you write is umgeknickt? And then you see it's broken, you even have the X-ray. He refused. And then I told him, then give me the report. Yet we had to really struggle till he gave us.
Even report, he refused to give even reports.
Even for Jacky, she did to the hospital. She asked for them to do the reports and the CD for the X-ray. They refused. We went there many times. We had to go to another doctor, our house doctor, to write them a letter to the polyclinic. She had to write a very strong letter and tell them, please give these people their report. They deserve to have it. That's how they responded. But they had 3 versions of the report differently.
Okay. So we are hearing that you had this experience. Not only do you have to deal with the racism and the police brutality, you also have to deal with even the racism in the healthcare system. That the doctors are not writing the correct reports. They are trying to be complicit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really it's a very traumatic and stressful situation, as you're saying. And then to imagine that this happened in your home, I mean, how do you feel safe? Do you feel safe? What are the feelings you have towards safety now? No, have you managed to get over that? What has that done to your feelings of trust?
I think I would say for us, I believe in the trust of family, because as a family, we give each other a lot of strength. And this one, I would say, it is what made us where we are right now. And support also from you guys, who has never let us, you call us, ask how you're doing. Even some organization who started with us, they just slipped out on the way. At some point, we stayed there, and then we said, now who is left with us here? It seems like we are now, you look behind, there's no one behind again.
Wow. So if we see that, okay, the family, the relationships have been a way for you to cope, has helped you to cope about this situation.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering, if someone was alone, how do you cope with it if you don't have a family? It can be really traumatizing.
Yeah, it can be really tough.
Okay, so this is to you out there who have maybe experienced such an attack. Do not keep it to yourselves. It's very important to find somebody who you can talk to. Yeah, the more frightened, the more helpless you feel, the more important it is that you do reach out to someone, that you talk about it to family members, that you look and find out organizations that help people in such circumstances and reach out to them. Now, recovery from trauma is also individual process, and it's different from everyone. So with you, this happened January 2021, and it's now October. And are you working again? How have you been able to return it to your regular routine? What is happening there?
At the moment, we are not working. We are not able to work because of the injuries. Because I got my operation on the 7th May. I got operation on my hand, so I could not work, and my husband as well. That's why we cannot work at the moment. We have already used our finance. And you can explain about that. It's really difficult for us.
Okay. So on top of all this, it's even affecting you because you're not working. You are having financial problems as well, difficulties. Is there been any support of any kind from the government or from the state? How are you managing?
Not really. I cannot talk about any support. We have to manage for ourselves. It's really difficult and very tough for us at the moment. So we are looking forward to start to work again.
Yeah, I think the best thing is first, we said first we concentrate with our health.
Yeah.
Go as many as possible. She's going for ergotherapy because of mobility, and me because of my foot, I go for physiotherapy. We try to be fit because our goal, God willing, next year we will start.
Okay.
But the problem is on January I have to go again to the hospital because I have to be removed for operation again.
Okay.
And she has to go also to the hospital for the doctor was not very comfortable with the operations. He said he might do something again, and this means the time will be, we need more time for healing again, which we are trying to avoid, but if we don't do it.
Yes, it takes time. It takes time to really calm the body, to soothe the mind, to manage all these post-traumatic symptoms. I remember even you told me you were having nightmares, and sometimes the event would just reoccur.
Yes, like for me, after the incident, I think I took like 1 month. I never went outside. I just wanted to stay at home. I didn't even want to meet the police. It's just disappeared with time. I think some things, they need time. I didn't even watch anything in the television to do with police. I just switched off the television when I saw anything. But I'm happy now. I'm psychologically fit. Although now we are waiting for the justice to come because now they are meeting, the investigations are over. We got the letter. We talked to the lawyers, and now they are going to get the reports from the courts because everything now is finished. We cannot add or reduce anything. But we had some documentary here with some people, and they told us the chances. They always say the chances are like 2% that you get, even the journalists themselves.
For a lot of people who are blacks, the chances are very limited.
Okay, so at this point, let me bring in Brother Moaimutsa. I mean, this is really a tragedy. It's a real tragedy. What would you say? How is this impacting African and Black communities?
Yeah, it's a repeating history and a repeating experience we have throughout our communities, that action of officers of state or any institutions is not in line with the rules and regulations, with the rights of the people, is exaggerated, and is not what you would expect as a human being and a citizen. So neither your human rights nor your citizen rights are of met, you are seen as a problem all the way through. We have here the connection that goes from the society. In this case, we see the neighbors. The neighbors are calling the police. Then the police is coming, so the police is also partisan with the neighbors and have their own racism put on top of it. Then they humiliate the people that dare to point out their rights they have, their human rights, their civil rights, that's their flats, that they have done nothing wrong, that they have seen everything they want to see, so they can just go, this is what they have to do. But this is not what the police wants you as a black person to behave. It's beyond that. You have to obey. You have to show that you acknowledge the white supremacy and the force of the officer and behave actually like a slave before they then are satisfied in their position as an officer, that have horrified you strongly enough as not to repeat what you have done rightfully and normally. So then they take you, humiliate you, injure you, then you go to a hospital, and again in the hospital they are partisan, taking what the police is telling them, not listening to the patient they are actually ought to treat and to listen to. And so we go on and on. The lawyers are not taking the case, for they know it's difficult to have a case against officers of the police and the state. So they don't want to ruin their image or their reputation within the society of their lawyer association or within the juridical system. And on top of it is black people. So it's not only against the police, but it's also black people. So there are many layers coming into it. And this is why we call racism systemic. And for it's everywhere, from the society to the authorities, to the institutions, to the justice system. And at the end of the day, even the media are sort of in an obedience running before the thing actually goes to court or something is happening. They report, but they already have in mind nothing might come out of it. So the only source, this is what the people said, is their family and the solidarity we have within ourselves as black diaspora, as black communities, as black people. And anyway, you have to find different ways than running behind the white supremacy system that is designed to treat us the way they treat us. It is designed to be racist. It's designed to disregard our rights. It's designed to deny justice to us. So we have to.
One thing is that, one point which you brought up is that this does not only impact the psychological well-being of those who were directly affected, but actually affects us when we hear about it. We are also affected as a community, as a people, So we've heard of cases of people who have a fear now to go out, or even are afraid to have such an encounter with the police. And the worst thing is, even in your own home, where is the place where you should feel safe, to be violated in your own home is something which is another category of abuse.
Yeah, they create a sort of insecurity regarding actually that you don't know how you should behave. It seems like people call the police on black persons no matter what they do. You know, they are making a telephone call, the security is called or the police is called. They are walking on the streets, somehow police is called. They are having a dog. They are having kids that are kids and loud. The police is called. So somehow everything you do as a black person seems to be something different from when it's done by the major society, the white society. So the society itself is judging, and the officers that come are judging you on the same line. So it's getting deeper and deeper and deeper the more you try to explain. And if you afterwards explain what happened, then they even will say, we don't believe you, that for this sounds unreasonable. And it is, indeed it is, but people who are not affected by racism, they cannot even imagine beyond the fact that they deny this sort of racism. So that's not only something with black people, it also does something with the perpetrator and the majority of the society. They are getting less human the more those things happen, and the more they have to ignore them and cover them up and push them away, for the energy is there.
And I remember even at the initial stages, I remember that the things that you were saying, that you even started to doubt yourself and have a feeling that maybe you even deserved it or did something wrong. You know, you started feeling guilty for something like that. And it's really, which is simply also one of the symptoms that happen at the initial stage, that you start to feel guilty, that you start to have even trust issues amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
But I really acknowledge you as survivors. The road to recovery is individual, and you just take the time you need to heal.
Thank you.
I also remember that you reached out, you know, which is also a very empowering thing. I mean, how did you, even though you had gone through that, you still have the energy to speak out and not be intimidated, and speak out to speak out, reach out to us and speak out, and like you're doing now. Has that assisted you in any way?
Yeah, for me, I find it's to speak out is also like some way of a security, because anything will happen to us, everyone knows about it.
Yeah, so that brings safety.
Yeah, if we are quiet, you know, they didn't know that we are going to react, because we had reacted after 3 weeks. So they didn't even write anything against us. They have nothing against us.
But they was trying to hide a lot of it. They was even trying to put that fear to us. Yeah, they was trying to bring us really down. And
just like you see now, like my visa, they wrote a lot of accusation. They say they will not give me because I never did anything. And then I asked them, I wrote them, I told them, I came here in Germany because I came here to study and I'd finished. So they started accusation that I didn't even finish my studies. I didn't even do anything.
Yeah,
I brought them all the reports, what I did. Even I did other courses, other studies, and I brought them. But they didn't respond to it. They told me, but still you have to go home in 30 days. Although they gave me another.
So you're living here in Germany for how many years?
14 years, almost 15.
For 14 years, you have been working.
Yeah.
You have been brutalized, violated by the police, and the immigration is trying to withdraw your residence permits.
Yeah, they even gave me the short one for 3 months. But then after 2 weeks, when I responded to the accusation that I didn't even study, I brought all the documents where I studied and where I worked. So they didn't say anything. Now they say, not now, the 3 months we have given you, we give you 30 days to go from your own back home. Others will have to force you to bring you home. So I wondered, why did they give me first 3 months, and now they say they give me only 1 month to go home by myself. And then I had to switch on some people who talk to them.
Lawyers.
So I had to take some lawyers. I took like Ausländer Beauftragter. She talked to the boss, and some other guys from media. They tried to push them, and they say they came to realize now they know our case is still now it's in the court. And now they give me another appointment, but they don't write to me. They talk to somebody else to tell me. They told me the things we talk to him, he should tell you what you should bring. Normally, they should write to me personally to tell me what I should bring them to this appointment, but they go like they say try X. They don't talk to me, they talk to somebody else. And they made it's like some of feeling you are not worth to be talked to directly.
This is really unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Brother Mayamutsa, what do you say to this issue?
Yeah, we have to in
You're
within
muted.
our community, we have to build structures of
You're muted.
huh? No, I'm not. You can't hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Sister, can you hear me? Yeah, anyway, as you can hear me, I think I can talk. Yeah, I think the time has now more than sufficiently shown that
It seems there's some problem with the connection. We can't hear.
We
yes,
can
they
hear
can
you.
hear me. They can hear me.
We
You
can
can't
hear.
hear me.
Sister, can you hear us?
Hello? Technical issues.
Maybe the mic button.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I know. It's for Sister Ororuntoin.
Sister,
Okay,
can you hear us?
I will just talk. We have seen that
Can
the
you hear
system.
me?
Yes.
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I cannot hear. So please go ahead.
Yeah, the system has shown to us, not only here in Germany, also in the US and in the UK and France, wherever the white supremacy is on the rule, that the rights and justice of and for Black people shall not be served. So we have to organize ourselves, especially also looking at the mental effects that are supposed to hit the members of the Black community. They want us to remember slavery time. They want us to get back to slave mentality behaviors of total disobedience and internalize the racism in our behavior already. This we have to meet with education, with solidarity, with our own public work to make sure that what they say in the first place, we have our own narrative, we have our own perspectives, we have the truth of those who have been targeted, victimized, of the repression and of the violence of state, and also of the other systems to meet you with other forms of injustices like deportation threats, medical negligence, juridical negligence, and so on. So if we now have a functioning community, we have to focus on ourselves first. We have to mobilize any means possible to reduce the mental impact, the trauma impact that has been done to our people in order to maintain our physical and mental health as much as possible, and then together have means to archive what happens on our narrative, on our perspective of what really happened, what the truth is, in order to fill the book, for it's our history and it will never be told if we not tell them ourselves. It's not only to them, it's also for us, for our kids to know. They can later see that in the videos, in the books, what really happened. And to really see that the fight for justice and the fight for accountability is something we have to do, yes, but we also have to know that the expectation is low. There's no thing I can see that they are really willing to change, that they are willing to deliver justice. Although the killer of George Floyd has been sentenced now, but even that is an exception. Is not the general rule that police officers will be held accountable for murdering black people or doing violence to black people, whatever.
Yes, I think it's important that you make that point. Very important. And while we are fighting for justice, we know that for healing, we are working with the empowerment mode. So we're going from it that whatever solution, whatever healing is totally available to you regarding the racist justice system, as we can see in your case, how you have been able to pull on your connections to each other, to family, to the community, as a support, as a form of support. And this is very important in healing. Also, how you have been caring for yourselves, taking that time to heal, not going to work or forcing to do things which you can't do. I remember how you were, how sad that was, that you couldn't cook. You love to cook. You couldn't work. You have a catering service, and it must have been very difficult not to be able to do the things you normally do.
It's really difficult.
Yes.
Really difficult.
But you have still tried to keep your family, to do things which you enjoy, even though it's not difficult, it's not easy. You still manage to go out into the nature, to meet with friends and things like that. When possible, you try to do these things.
Yes, we are trying. We are really trying. We are still doing our dancing challenges, and we are trying to do some therapy.
Yes, dancing, music, these are also therapeutic. They are definitely therapeutic.
And talking to people, telling people they should not keep quiet. If anything happens to them, we are telling them that to contact us, because here where we are living, a lot of people, they are facing this racism every day.
Yeah.
And since then, many people started opening to us, and they told us things like, there was a boy, we used to meet him here. Since our case came out, he opened up, although he was playing with our kids, he never told us anything about it.
Fantastic. So you have even sharing. And as you speak out, other people are coming out and telling their stories. And this is also empowering.
Yes. We have.
Thank you so much.
This boy came here every day and he never said anything, but because of our case, he opened up.
Yeah.
Thank
you. He was beaten by the police and he just had something commotion and he just came to see what it is. And they just hold him and they beat him. And then later they told him sorry, and he was 15 years old. And they told him sorry, and they just tell him go back to your house after beating him very hard.
Yeah, and injured him too. He got some scars.
And then he opened up after he heard our story.
Yeah,
he had the courage to speak up. Yeah, I just have to support him and say, really, the two of you are not just survivors, but you're role models. And I thank you so much for speaking out.
Thank you. Our brother too. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Our hands because you always stand by with us everywhere.
Strong together.
Yes. And I call on our ancestors that you will continue on this healing journey. Take it day by day. And we ask those of you who are watching, please share. Please support Jacky and Mark as they are still fighting for justice, especially those of you in Germany. And even, you know, we realize that the struggle for the well-being of our people is not just a national thing. It's not just a local thing. It is a global thing which affects each and every one of us. So reach out as far as you can. Black Mental Health Matters. Thank you so very much to all of you who are watching. Thank you so very much. And then we take questions which are there and try to answer them.
Yeah.
Yes.